What's up, you guys? It's Steve here. And what do you think about stimulus checks to help combat gas prices? Well, take a look, you guys. Democratic leaders seem on board as Gavin Newsom proposes gas money for Californians. And we're hearing that this might need to be an option, as gas prices, we're hearing after those executive orders yesterday from President Joe Biden, are only going to be going up. So they're saying, Americans, get ready. This is on the way. Now, in addition to that, take a look at this, you guys. Just coming out a little while ago, Nancy Pelosi pulls the $15.6 billion in pandemic relief funding from the government spending bill after a massive revolt, as I reported to you in my last video, from her own Democrats on how the funds were being paid for. And as I explained to you in the last video, they were very unhappy because they were trying to reallocate billions of dollars of funds from the American Rescue Plan to this new spending bill. And states are saying, hey, you're giving out these state stimulus checks, county checks, city checks. We never got ours, and that money you're trying to pull, that was money we were supposed to get. And you guys, I've got some video footage for you you're not going to want to miss, as this is being brought up by Congress members saying, hey, Democrats, you dropped the ball on making sure that people were supposed to get their money. Republicans are saying you jammed through the American Rescue Plan last year, did a terrible job, and now all this money, there's been fraud, misallocation. It's causing massive inflation. We're paying the price, and people that were supposed to get the money didn't even get it. Now, in addition to that, today, I've got some video footage for you that just came out from a press release from Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi as reporters hammer her on this spending bill and the folly with the state and government funding. You guys, she says it was because of me that it went out, but now we're hearing that she's having to pull it out because lawmakers are saying they're very upset with the way that it has been handled. You guys, you're not going to want to miss it. She gets hammered question after question, and she is dealing with a lot of flack today. Take a look, you guys. I'm going to be sharing with you the latest. This is all coming out, but again, like I said, let me know your thoughts. Stimulus checks for gas prices, and also we're going to be seeing what's unfolding with this omnibus bill. They have got to get government funding done before Friday. We're hearing a stopgap bill might kick the can down the road till March 15th, but they still have not gotten new funding for the government. Also, that funds for Ukraine and $15.6 billion being removed of pandemic assistance. And they're asking, is this going to have to go into the stimulus reconciliation bill? Well, we will see, you guys. But let's dive right in. We got a lot to get you caught up on. Before we do, though, if you could do me a quick favor, if you appreciate the updates, keeping you up to speed on everything going on, and yes, I know there is a lot, don't forget, take a quick second, smash that like button. I'll keep you up to date. Also, leave your comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Share this out if you think it's going to help out other people. If this is your first time here and you want to stay up to date, totally free, you can come join the Ram fam. I'll let you know what's going on. All you got to do is hit that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell. If you got any specific questions for me, I'm easy to get a hold of directly. All you got to do is hop onto Instagram, shoot me a DM at SteveRam3. And with that being said, you guys, let's go ahead and dive right in. All right, so first up, you guys, the link in the description below, as we just received news that Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi, in an effort to try to save the omnibus bill, she has pulled out the pandemic funding. Take a look, you guys. Speaker Nancy Pelosi abruptly yanked $15.6 billion in pandemic relief from the bill funding the federal government. Her own Democrats rebelled over how it was being paid for, with Republicans refusing to support any new funding for the pandemic. Democrats decided to take the money funds for state governments. Democratic lawmakers responded with a wave of fury. This deal was cut behind closed doors. Members found out this morning. This is completely unacceptable, said Democratic Representative Angie Craig of Minnesota. Pelosi needs every Democrat on board to pass the budget by Friday's deadline to fund the government or face a shutdown. Facing a rebellion, she yanked the pandemic money from the bill. It is heartbreaking to remove pandemic funds, but unfortunately, that will not be included in this bill, Pelosi said, and I've got the video footage for you of what it was that she said. But first, before we take a look at that, let's take a look at what lawmakers are saying about the mishandling of those $350 billion worth of American rescue funds that people were supposed to get stimulus checks, stimulus packages, and assistance with. Let's go ahead and take a look.
Gentleman from Georgia, Mr. Clyde, is now recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair. 1 year ago, President Biden and his Democrat colleagues recklessly pushed through the American Rescue Plan, a $1.9 trillion spending package, which they claimed was for COVID relief. The spending package came after Congress had already passed $4 trillion in COVID relief, $1 trillion of which had not yet been spent. Both President Biden and the Democrats chose to ignore the warning that this spending package would only fuel the inflationary fires. This spending package also gave $350 billion directly to state and local government without proper guardrails in place to protect against waste, fraud, and abuse. After this $350 billion was recklessly handed out, we've seen countless instances where this money has not been used for its intended purpose. These funds were intended to be used to respond to the woes of the pandemic, but we have seen that pumping billions of dollars of free money into the economy simply drives hyperinflation. Mr. Jayoff, thank you for your testimony today. We are seeing record rates of inflation higher than any point in the past 40 years. Can you tell me, in your estimation, how long do you think this runaway inflation might last?
I think it could go on for many, many years because Federal Reserve interest rates are now well below the inflation rate. And I think they're very worried about raising interest rates too much because of the fear of its effect on the stock market and economic growth. So if the Federal Reserve continues to follow this low interest rate policy, we could see many, many years of inflation.
Wow. Thank you. That is not good news, but thank you for that testimony. Congress gave $350 billion to states and localities. However, we do not know whether these billions of dollars went to Americans in need.
So there you have it, you guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Do you agree, disagree? Massive misallocation, mishandling, fraud, which is now causing inflation and we're paying the price for? Or do you feel like, no, it was needed, it was something that needed to go through to help people out, and that there was just some mishandling in some cases? Let me know your thoughts. But in addition to that, let's take a look at what Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi has to say with her pulling additional spending funds in this omnibus bill. And she was the major one that got that state and local government funding in that last package, the American Rescue Plan, through all the negotiations that took place. And we're going to be hearing her mention that here as she is hammered question after question about pulling this out. Go ahead and take a look, you guys.
Yes, sir.
On the omnibus,
yes.
A number of your members said that they felt blindsided about the COVID relief offsets that were in there. Why were they not looped in earlier in this process when this had been months and months in the making?
No, it hasn't been months and months in the making. This is when you're in a negotiation. And when you're in a negotiation, you do not weaken at the end. We had to be very strong to insist upon having the COVID funding. This COVID funding, as I said before, is about early intervention so that we stop transmissions and therefore new variants. It's about honoring our responsibility we have to the rest of the world. It's been very obvious for a long time now that the Republicans in the Senate did not want to do COVID funding. And then if we did it, that it would have to be paid for by state and local government. We cut the amount in half. We cut in half what the would have to be covered by state and local, and just had part of it offset one way, some by state, but not local. States have more asset opportunity to help cover this than local. Local governments have not had the benefit of unemployment going down and so many other things that have given states a little more flexibility in all this. And that's what the senators, Republican senators, insisted upon, and that's what it was. Any other questions? Yes, sir.
What's the plan on COVID relief now that it's out of the bill? Are you
Yeah.
trying to put it into reconciliation? How do you?
No, we have a bill that's going to be on the floor, hopefully today, just depends. We have a bill that I mentioned that will be on the floor today, and it will really contain what the administration says that we need. Yes, ma'am.
Just to follow up on the omnibus, you're blaming Republicans for the delay in a situation with the COVID relief, but you didn't have votes within your own party. Do you regret pushing this test out in the middle of the night? And now
No. That's the way it is. Let's grow up about this, okay? We're in a legislative process. We have a deadline for keeping government open. We have a lively negotiation. It has to be bipartisan. We want it to be bipartisan, but in the Senate, you need 60 votes. So when I say blame, you say blame. I'm saying because you need 60 votes, and they consider that a plus. I don't. If you need 60 votes in the Senate, they have to come to terms. And as I said, it was greatly reduced. We didn't do localities. We did much less attributed to the states, and we had, unfortunately, less money. So I don't even go there, because we are in a negotiation. Great things were accomplished. Rosa DeLauro was masterful. Senator Leahy as well. Even working with the Republican leadership, we came up with a bill. It's $1.5 trillion that will be spent this year. And there has never been a bill, let me just be very clear, there has never been a bill that when it comes forward, and usually, well, it wasn't the dark of night, it was sometime last night, when it comes forward that somebody, I didn't get what I wanted in the bill. You're telling Noah about the flood. I didn't get what I wanted in the bill. So I say to my members, yeah, that's a negotiation, and that's the way it is, and look at what is in the bill and what it does for America's working families, what it does for Ukraine, what it does, that so much needs to be done as opposed to what you don't like about the bill. So we will pass a bill that gets it all done, and we will continue to work on that. But as long as we need 60 votes in the Senate, members are going to have to know there have to be compromises. Jake?
Did you agree with their qualms? I mean, people,
you know what? I answered that question. You got something else on substance or something? Because
That's pretty substantive.
Well, it isn't substantive. It's process. And what we're talking about is policy here. That some of the governors are complaining that they're getting some of their money, while many of them are enjoying slush funds in all of this. Now, let me just say this. You want to talk process? Who had all of the grief that you all had to hand out from your station especially, or whatever you call it, cable, that I was holding up the checks going to people in September and October. And isn't that a shame, because something is better than nothing? Well, I don't go there. I said to President Trump, you do state and local, you do the other things we have to do for America's working families, you have your checks. But I'm not giving you your check for nothing, because they fought state and local every step of the way in this new budgeting. It wasn't until Joe Biden became president that we were able to get the state and local. And that was something that was my fight. As a daughter of a mayor, as a sister of a mayor, I insisted that we have that state and local. A lot of senators are governors, and they were governors, and they like the state. That's good. But we cannot depend on the states to distribute the money, especially in some of the states. So, you want to talk this stuff. Okay, you can talk this stuff. So we got important work that we're doing here. Some of the members are disappointed. I'm disappointed. As Dave Bowie would say, Dave Bowie used to be the chairman of our committee, and he'd come into the room and he'd say, I know some of you don't like the way this went, and you don't like me. Well, I don't like me either. You don't like what you didn't get in the bill? I'm very unhappy with it. I didn't get in the bill. You think I could have gotten something into the bill as Speaker of the House? No, because it takes 60 votes in the Senate. That's it. That's all I'm going to say about that. If you're going to talk about policy, I'm happy to take those questions. But I'm not. I thought you were busier people than to ask 1, 2, 3, 4 questions about the fact that we are moving with our bill and we're not wallowing in what some governors are complaining about not getting.
Man, there you have it, you guys. Some of those, I couldn't even help but laughing, just question after question. They're hammering her about what took place today. Let me know your thoughts, but in addition to that, let me know your thoughts on a stimulus check to combat some of these gas prices, which we're hearing is being proposed by Governor Gavin Newsom. Take a look, you guys, link in the description below. Governor Gavin Newsom wants to put money in Californians' pockets to help them pay for the skyrocketing prices of gas. That was the main takeaway from the State of the State speech Tuesday night, which came on the heels of President Joe Biden's announcing that the U.S. is going to be banning imports from Russian oil, and the Golden State's average gas price right now is hitting a new record at $5.44 per gallon, a whopping 10-cent increase over the previous high just set one day before. Now, details about the proposed rebate. The only new policy proposal in the governor's 18-minute speech were scarce Tuesday night. So we don't know how much this might be, what he's proposing, but we're hearing he's getting backing for this. Though Newsom's administration officials say relief would likely total in the billions of dollars and be available to California drivers with cars registered in the state, including undocumented immigrants as well. So you guys, this is just the beginnings. This just was announced today. We don't have a whole lot of details, but we're hearing that Democrats are backing this, saying, yes, give people some stimulus checks to help combat these gas prices. And you guys, if we go that route, no, I will be sure to let you know here on the channel. So you guys, that is the latest, a lot unfolding. And as more comes out, I'll be sure to keep you up to date here on the channel. And as always, thank you so much for joining me. If you made it this far and you haven't already, don't forget, take a quick second, smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. Helps out the channel a ton. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Also, leave your comments. Share this out if you think it's going to help out other people. If this is your first time here and you want to stay up to date, totally free to come join the Ram fam. All you got to do is hit that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell. If you got any specific questions for me, shoot them to me in the DM on Instagram at SteveRam3, and consider joining the second channel, Steve Ram Finance, to learn about personal finance and growing wealth. But with that being said, you guys, thank you so much. I hope that you and the family have a blessed evening, and I will catch you in the next one. Take care. God bless. This is Steve.